Yeah, it turns out this little idea that the consultants were telling me, it has some merit. And my mind has been reeling the past several days. And I had to make a YouTube video, of course, to share what I learned. This has been me at Do You Even Blog the past couple of years. It's been like some nice growth up in here. Then we kind of leveled off and never actually went back up, right? I just plateaued. If you've experienced this, it can be frustrating. Last week, I actually hired 2 different consultants to come look at all the content I create for Do You Even Blog. And at first, I completely dismissed one little idea that kept coming up again and again. I was like, I've talked about this before. I already knew this. I've learned this already. But sure enough, it stuck in my head for a couple of days, so much so that I actually went back and did an audit of my all-time best performing pieces of content, those that drove the most traffic, the most watched videos I have here on the YouTube channel, and so on and so forth. And my mind is blown. I feel like my engagement across my entire brand has been like at an all-time low. And by the way, you already know this, but if you don't have engagement, if you can't keep people's attention, grab people's attention, and then keep it, you might as well not produce content. Like, all that hard work is for nothing. People are going to bounce from the page. They're going to stop watching your videos and your podcasts and yada, yada. And they're not going to follow you. This is a huge, huge, huge task in front of us in 2021 to capture people's attention and then hold people's attention. And I've been failing at that recently. It's been miserable. I've seen all my numbers go down across the board. Hashtag sad face. All right. So it's time to talk about Breaking Bad. One of my favorite TV shows, super dark, just like yours truly. If you go back and watch season 1, episode 1, actually the first 10 minutes of episode 1, you won't find Walter White sitting in his house, contemplating the meaning of life, thinking about cooking meth, just even at the doctor's office, just finding out he has cancer. No, that's not where it starts. Where does it start? Action chase, van sequence, guns, some crazy dude in his underwear. He's calling his family because he hears sirens and he thinks he's about to get captured. We have no idea what's going on. We don't know these characters, but it starts right in the middle of the action. Also, Star Wars. The original Star Wars does not start off with Luke as a kid growing up on Tatooine with aunt and uncle, then his, coming of age story. No. What does it start with? Darth Vader entering in the ship, blasters everywhere, Princess Leia frantically trying to get to R2-D2 and send out the message. We have no idea what this story is. We have no idea who these characters are, but where do these 2 stories start? In the middle of the action. That, my friends, is something called in media res. In media res. Starting in the middle of the action, starting at the point of highest tension. Are you getting a takeaway here? For blogging, podcasting, and YouTube, it can be helpful and engaging and sticky to start in the middle of the action. Not at the very beginning where you're introducing what you're going to teach in your videos or whatever. Just start with the story and start right in the middle in media res. A few weeks ago, I wrote an email. I was telling a very simple example, very simple story, and I had some points or whatever. I don't even remember what it was. But I kicked off this email with a quote, real quote that's happened in my life. If the boss ever finds out about this, you're getting fired for sure. That's actually something that my former boss told me about our CFO at my old accounting job. True story. That email got so much response. That was something very sticky and engaging to put right up at the top. I started right in the middle of the action. No one knows what I did in that story at my old job to cause my boss to suggest that I was going to get fired. If anybody found, I didn't share any details. I just started with that quote. I started with a dialogue that drew people in like crazy. Also, here's a good one. Once upon a time. Start with a time. 2 weeks ago, blah, blah, blah. When I was 6 years old, blah, blah, blah. Something happened. Start with a date. Start with dialogue. These are easy ways to do in media res. And it's at this point that I want to get super meta. Where's my meta hat? Yeah, so what did I do in this YouTube video? I did not kick it off with, hello, Do You Even Blog Type. Today I have 3 tips to boost your content. And no, I didn't do any of that. I kicked it off with a story. Let's rewind. Now last week, I actually hired 2 different consultants to come look at all the content I create for Do You Even Blog. Kicked it off with a story about how my mind is blown from what these consultants told me about my content. It's true, by the way. And then I immediately went into the stakes. Why is it important that you pay attention to the rest of this YouTube video. And then like downwards and plateaus. If you can't keep and hold somebody's attention, you're doomed. Why this is important. I shared the stakes before I actually shared the tips. If I hadn't done that, if I hadn't shared the stakes first, I haven't started with that story right off the bat in the middle of this action, you wouldn't have gotten around to the overall point, which is this. You need a hook. In media res, starting in the middle of your point, not leading up to it, not giving an intro, not doing context, but starting right there in the middle of a story with a pain point, with a challenge, with the solution that you're going to offer your readers or whatever you're doing. Start right there in the middle. You can start with dialogue. If the boss ever finds out about this, you're getting fired for sure. You can start with dates. When I was 7 years old, something happened at the dentist office. These examples I've given can be woven into every piece of content you do. And when you do them, your engagement is going to go up. People are going to subscribe more and follow you more, and you're going to get better stats and growth. You will. You have to hook people and keep them engaged. And now to get even more meta here, there's actually one more little engagement tip that you can put in your intros or actually in all of your content that is extremely powerful. In fact, it's so powerful that it came with a warning to be used carefully. I talk about that in this video. I want you to click over and go watch that. It's very short. Will absolutely change the way your audience pays attention to you. So go check out that video. I hope you learned something here or found this interesting. I love you, YouTube tribe. Adios.